So today I'm glad to talk about this topic, tech jobs and the local economy. So we know over the past several years, the tech industry has been doing very well. But does the booming tech industry help boost the rest of the local economy? In particular, we want to know that the growth of tech jobs help the low-skilled workers in terms of employment and wage growth. So we want to answer this question: does the rising tech tide raising all the boats? All right. So first of all, let me define the tech jobs in this presentation because there is no official definition of tech jobs. So in this chart, I show you the median wage of 22 major occupation in the United States in May 2018. So here, the data is about occupation, position, task, not about company or industry. So you can see the highest occupation is, of course, management. Okay. The second one is computer and mathematical, like a software designer, computer scientist, data scientist. And the third one is legal, like lawyers. And the fourth one is architecture and engineering, like bioengineering engineers, electronic engineer, mechanical engineer. So among these top four occupations, we define computer and mathematical with 86,000 median wage, about 4.4 million jobs last year. And architecture and engineering, 80,000 median wage with 2.6 million jobs. We say these two categories are tech jobs, okay, based on their task and skill. It's not a perfect measurement. Some jobs in these two categories are not really tech jobs, and some real tech jobs are not in this category. But we believe this is pretty good approximation. So let's go all the way in the middle. We can see the median wage in the United States is about $45,000 last year. And let's look at the bottom. So we had this personal care with 24,000 median wage. We had about 5.5 million jobs. And the final one is food preparation, which is the waiter, waitress, all those people working in the restaurant. It's the lowest paid occupation. They had a median wage $23,000, 13 million jobs. So we want to know how does the tech jobs help the rest of the economy, and in particular these two lowest skill position. Right. So here, based on our definition, here I show you on the left, the yellow bar represents the top 10 metropolitan areas with the highest number of tech jobs. Number one is New York Metro, followed by Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles. We are number 3. And then Dallas, Chicago, San Francisco, Boston, San Jose, Seattle, Atlanta. So know that if we combine San Francisco and San Jose, which is the Bay Area, they had an equivalent amount of tech job like New York. All right. So this is tech job in 2018. On the right, we can see the top 10 metros with the largest number of tech job increase between 2010 and 2018. So number one is San Francisco, which has a stunning tech job growth, over 70,000 jobs created over the past 8 years, followed by New York and San Jose, again in Bay Area, and Atlanta. Los Angeles, we are also doing pretty well, 50,000 jobs. Okay, here let me show you another statistic. So this chart shows the so-called density of tech jobs, so which is the percentage of the tech job number over total payroll jobs. So yellow bar is 2010 ratio, and blue bar is 2018. So we can see number one, not surprising, is San Jose, which is Silicon Valley, with very high, over 17% of the job, which is tech jobs, followed by distantly followed by Seattle. Number 2 is about 9%, 10% tech job. And then DC, Austin, San Francisco, and so on and so forth. Okay, here let me show you another statistic, which is the median wage of the tech job among this top 10 metro. Okay, so again, yellow bar is 2010, and blue bar is 2018. So number 1, again, is Silicon Valley, San Jose, with about $120,000 dollars of a median wage, followed by San Francisco, and then Seattle, Washington, D.C., New York. And we can see all those metro had a very significant increase of median wage over the past 8 years. Okay, so right now I would like to focus on this correlation relationship between the tech job and the rest of the economy. So I learned something from Ed, which told me that there are 2 kinds of job in a local economy. One is so-called foundation job, another one is a supportive job. So the foundation job is there because of the competitiveness of their product and service. So not only they can sell their product service to the local population, they can sell it to the rest of the country or even the rest of the world. And because of that economy of scale and this kind of continued expansion of the market, they had a huge productivity and huge wage, huge income. And so huge, a big purchasing power. So they can use the money to buy local house, to go local shopping, and hire local lawyer, accountant, go to a local restaurant. So also boost supportive jobs. So this is the theory. So right now, let's look at the data. So here, the horizontal axis is the change of tech jobs among 387 metropolitan area in the United States from 2010 and 2018. And the vertical axis is the change of the total jobs in that metro. So basically, we can see very strong correlation. Okay, on the right, New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Jose, high tech job growth also boost the total economic growth in terms of jobs. All right, so here I show you the relationship between the tech job growth and the low skill job growth, which led to category I mentioned at the bottom of the 22 major occupation. So basically, we can again see very strong correlation. All right. So let's just look at this. Sun City had a higher ratio. Sun City had a lower ratio for some other additional reason. But let's just look at Silicon Valley, San Jose as an example. So during these past 8 years, San Jose created 60,000 more tech jobs. So if you look at the vertical axis, actually it's very similar. 60,000 these low-skill jobs also created. So it's a kind of one-on-one situation. Pretty good. All right. So right now, let's look at a relationship about wage, median wage. So in this chart, the horizontal axis is the median wage of the tech job in 2018 among these 387 metro, and the vertical axis is the median wage of low-skill jobs. So for example, we look at Los Angeles. Our median wage for tech job is about $92,000, $93,000, and our median wage for those low-skill workers is about $25,000. So by and large, you can say a metro with, they say $10 more of the tech job wage, you can see it translates to $1 more of median wage for low-skill workers. All right. So maybe, yeah, you like it or not, but actually there's another story I want to mention here. Here I show you 2 variables, and I try to see if there's a correlation. So the horizontal axis is the percentage change of the tech job over the past 8 years, similar to the previous variable. And the vertical axis is the change of the real wage over the past 8 years for low-skill workers. All right, so what does that mean, real wage? It means the nominal wage adjusts for the cost of living, CPI increase, nationwide. So we can see basically two findings. Number one, there's no correlation between these two things. So whether your tech job growth increase big or small, it doesn't really impact the real wage change for the low-skilled workers. But more importantly, you can see the vertical axis, actually the number is negative. It's all negative. So it means actually over the past 8 years, the real wage was declining. So actually they echo the slides Ed was talking about. All right, so here another question I want to answer is, so what makes a city a tech city, right? A lot of cities in the world want to become the second Silicon Valley. So there are several reasons, several factors, but I believe one of the things I want to mention here, which is human capital, because we all know the tech job need high-skilled, high-educated workforce. So it's not surprising to see some kind of correlation here. So here I show you two variables. The horizontal axis is so-called CT, Human Capital Index I developed. So basically, it's an average education attainment, like an average schooling year. So you can see this index, 1/10 of that index is about average schooling year of the local adult residents. And the vertical axis is the density of tech job in that city. So basically, you can see the high correlation between these two variables. So actually, it's not surprising to make this kind of argument. So we believe it's more likely for city with higher human capital to organic create the tech industry and attract more outside investment in tech industry and attract tech talent to come here to work in tech industry. And when they come, because they have high human capital, they boost local human capital. So it turned on to a virtuous cycle. And this is what happened in Bay Area. All right, so here I show you the evidence about this migration. These two variables, the horizontal axis is the average adjusted gross income of migrant, all right, by county. The data is coming from IRS, so the data is very accurate. So I just select several counties in California and Seattle, King County, Washington. And the vertical axis is the percentage of migrant inflow over the local non-migrant residents. So you can see, for example, on the top right, San Francisco County, which is the city of San Francisco, the average income in 2016 for those migrants is $180,000. So it's very high. And look at the ratio of their migrant over their non-migrant resident is 9%. So that's why Jerry talked about that. You know, California is running out of people, but we still can grow the payroll job because we can attract the talent to California. Okay, so right now let's zoom in Los Angeles. So here I show you the density of tech jobs by zip code in Los Angeles County. So here the red color represents higher density, higher ratio of the tech job over total private payroll job, and the blue color represents lower density. And like a dark red color means highest one. So you can see basically we see this kind of concentration cluster along the beach. So that's why we call it Silicon Beach. But not just like it go to the Hollywood, Burbank, North Hollywood area. All right, so right now let me show you another map, which is the city human capital index by zip code. So red color represents high human capital, blue color represents low human capital. So you can see, actually, it's very interesting. We can see this kind of strong correlation, just like what we see across the region in the country. Among these 384 metro, a city with high human capital had a high density. But here, even within a region, we see this kind of thing allocated by zip codes. All right, conclusion. So answer the question we want to get the answer. Does the rising tech tide lift all the boats? The answer is yes and no. Yes, in terms of total jobs and low-skill jobs, but no, not in the income. So after adjusting for the consumer price index, all metro had a declining real wage job, real wage in those kind of low-skill jobs. So a region with high human capital and tech jobs tend to attract and recruit talent into the town outside the region. So it's very good. So policy suggestion here, so I think it's very important we invest in local education and workforce development, which fit into this 21st post-industry era. And then we try to, for example, improve the quality of life of the local region to attract and retain global talents. Thank you very much.